This session we will basically have, we'll start from scratch that what is basically UPSC, and we'll basically try to focus on most of the prelims part, that how to crack prelims in a single attempt without wasting any form of time. Okay. Uh, UPSC, if we'll consider UPSC as exam, it basically consists of three parts: prelims, mains, and interview. Prelims consist of two parts, which is basically a GS part and CSAT part. GS consists of 200 marks, CSAT consists of 200 marks. The marks which will you get from GS, which accordingly determine your qualification to mains. CSAT is just a qualifying paper where you need to score just one third of marks, which is around 67 marks out of 200. So do not bother much about CSAT exam, which is just a basic English and maths logical reasoning exam, which you can prepare in just 3 to 4 days, and is basically of 9 to 10 class. So we'll not discuss here much about CSAT paper. Let's come directly to the prelims part. See, prelims as a paper seems very difficult because more than many students are complaining that my audio is not clear. It is clear now. Okay. See, prelims as a part, it consists of mainly 6 papers and the current affairs part. Many students seems that prelims is much difficult, and actually it is very difficult because it is the exam where actually what we call chhatni ho jati hai puri. Like out of 15 lakh students, less than 10,000 students remain who are appearing for the mains. If we consider prelims as a whole, the subject is very vast in itself. You can see like there are some quotations like everything under the sun comes under the prelims, but it is not so. When you will prepare prelims as a pinpointed view or very holistically view, prelims is not very much difficult from that point of view. Let me start. See, when we consider prelims, there are 6 to 7 main subjects. Okay, first one is polity. Now I will discuss what are the subjects for prelims to be prepared and how to prepare that subject so as to clear prelims in a very first attempt without wasting much time. See, the first part is polity, the most important part. Every year from polity, around 7 to 8 questions are fixed. It may go up to 20 questions. From polity part, most of the questions are static and not of current affairs part. Even if questions are of current affairs, they are already present in Lakshmikant. For example, last to last year question came that which of the following provisions are mentioned in money bill. See, many students claim that due to the Aadhaar controversy, this was the question being asked in the exam. But actually this question is a very static part which you can find in the parliament chapter in Lakshmikant. So the first part, that how to prepare polity. Okay. Am I audible? Okay. See the first part from part from polity. Do not mug up all the data. See, now the UPSC, what the UPSC is trying to ask, the UPSC is not asking very static, very fact-based question. It is asking very logical type of questions. See, so do not remember that in the cabinet committee of 1950, which all the members are there. These questions will be only asked in the test papers, not in the actual UPSC exam. So be very pin focused, like prepare for chapters like judiciary, preamble, fundamental rights, DPSP, fundamental duties, parliament, and panchayati raj system. These are the most important chapters from polity which you can prepare, and you can be very sure that questions will be definitely asked from these chapters. Okay. Next, the most important book which I will recommend is from history, modern history. See, from modern history, the most important book which you can follow is Spectrum. It is a book mostly comprising of 350 to 400 pages. It will not be very difficult to read the book in a one go. But what most of the students they try to falter, that they try to mug up Spectrum as a whole. For example, before the revolt of 1857, when you will go through the past year papers, before 1857, the questions asked are very less. So do not try to mug up that kind of data. Go through the past year paper, see what are the, see, I will tell later that what to read in world history. I will go step by step. Okay. For modern history, what I was actually saying that before 1857, have a brief overview what are the various concepts. After 1857, go syllabus in very depth till 1947, till India got independence. Last year, what happened that many of the questions were asked from the post-independence. This doesn't mean that from the now you will reading post-independence holistically. It will just waste your time. See, whether all of you are comfortable in English or I will tell in Hindi. English, English. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, no issue, no issue. See, what I was trying to say that in modern history, don't try to mug up the whole data. Read from 1857 till 1947 and read various timelines that what comes after what comes after what comes after what. Do not try to remember and mug up very small facts which are not being asked in the exam, but this type of questions are asked only in the silly test paper. Let me give one example like who wrote the following newspapers, who wrote the following books. If we will analyze the past year papers, this type of silly questions are being asked in 1990s, 2000. Today it is 2020. Okay, so this type of questions will not be asked in the UPSC exam, so do not prepare for the silly topics. Just go through the spectrum, have a quick overview that what is the timeline, specially prepare for the appendix part. In appendix part, what you will see is that various leaders and what are their contributions. Every year, UPSC asks one or two questions, and prepare for the various governor generals and what are the proceedings or what are the important events happened under that particular governor general. One more important thing, what you can prepare in prelims is that remember most important books written by most important personalities. Like try to read books written by Jawaharlal Nehru, books written by B.R. Ambedkar. These are the direct questions which are being asked in the previous UPSC exams. Okay, now let's move to ancient history. See, ancient history and medieval history do not carry much weightage in UPSC prelims paper. But from the last 2 years, medieval history has revived. Like in the last year itself, around 6 to 7 questions has been asked from medieval history. So what I will suggest is that follow basic NCRT for ancient history and Satish Chandra for medieval history. That two book will more than suffice. Do not prepare any extra notes or do not read any other coaching material for these particular two subjects. Okay, I will not talk much about these two subjects because they do not carry much weightage. Okay, fourth I will move to art and culture. See, many students neglect art and culture. They think that they will prepare art and culture at the very end. But try to analyze past year paper. Art and culture is just like a low-hanging fruit. You just need to remember that in which temple mandapas are there, in which temple falana are there. These are the very simple facts which are being asked in the exam. Or let me give an example. Like they ask in Mahabali, Arjuna penance is a sculpture depicted in which period or in which sculpture. Simply, it is Mahabalipuram. Mahabalipuram, there is a sculpture in where it is depicted. So you need to prepare in depth, but it is very easy, and you can score very high in art and culture. Like every year, you can see 5 to 6 questions are asked directly from art and culture. So prepare very holistically. See, I'm telling you only two sources. Do not go more than that. First one is Introduction to Fine Arts. It is a basic NCRT which you need to remember. Introduction to Fine Arts. In the front page, there is a photo of Padmapani. Padmapani is a bodhisattva, like Vajrapani, Padmapani. Okay, Padmapani, there is a photo, red color book. Just go through the book word by word. Why I'm telling that this book carry a lot of weightage, not for the perspective of prelims only, but for the perspective of mains also. In mains also, what you will see that one question directly comes from this book, Introduction to Fine Arts. Okay. The second one, which I will recommend, either you can go through CCRT or Nitin Singhania notes. Your art and culture will be holistically covered. First one is fine arts, second one is CCRT or Nitin Singhania notes. Okay. One guy has asked that, sir, are old NCRT well updated as far as current exams are concerned? See, what I am trying to say from the very start that UPSC is a general type of exam. The current affairs part, which will be asked in the exam, will be very relevant as of today. So you need to prepare static, and the static part will not change across time. See, if Raja Rammohan Roy has written a particular book in ancient India, then that book is still existing today. He will not rewrite a new book. Okay, so do not much concerned about reading old NCRT or new NCRT. I will recommend go for old NCRT, but if you do not have, you can go for old NCRT also. Okay, some students have confusing regarding Tamil Nadu NCRT, and it is very trending in the market. Those students who do not have ancient India and medieval India NCRT can go for Tamil Nadu NCRT also. It is also a very good book. Okay, okay. One student has asked that, sir, you can repeat important topics for polity. Okay, for polity, see preamble, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, DPSP, basic structure, parliament, judiciary, panchayati raj. Okay, these are the most important topics which you need to remember. Okay, see, okay. The next important, see, I cannot discuss main sensor writing in this session because this session is only of 1 hour. If in future we will have a different session, I will discuss about main sensor writing also. Do not worry. Let's discuss here what I have been asked specifically to do. Okay. Now, if anyone has any doubt regarding history, you can ask. Otherwise, we will move forward. For modern history spectrum, you need to read Tarun. Okay. If anyone has any doubt regarding history, okay, it seems nobody has no doubt regarding history. World history, it is a part of mains. It does not come under prelims part. Okay, read Nitin Singhania book. It is better. For polity, Lakshmikant. No need to read anything else. For world history, I will tell later. See, I am a commerce graduate guy. I cannot tell about optional history. Okay. See, for history, I am again repeating the book. For modern history, spectrum. For ancient history in and medieval history, NCRT. And for art and culture, introduction to fine arts plus CCRT or Nitin Singhania book. Okay. Now I am done with history. I will move to other. See, now the next important part is environment. Why environment has become so crucial in now prelims exam? See, please try to understand. Indian civil service exams also constitute Indian forest service exam. The prelims which you are appearing for civil service is exactly the prelims which a forest candidate also gives. Generally, the cutoff of the forest service goes 15 marks higher than the civil service. Okay, so just imagine that the same paper is being given by you also and forest service guy also. So the naturally it happens that the weightage given to environment is now very high. Around 25% of the questions are being directly asked from the topic of environment. So this is the most important topic which you need to prepare for prelims very holistically. And the most important books which I will recommend personally for environment is Sankar IAS. Okay, do read Sankar IAS very holistically, word by word. You will get a very brief idea that what exactly is environment is, and you can prepare very holistic from that book. But there is a way of reading environment from Sankar IAS. It is not that you just try to mug up the whole facts and data and you make notes word by word. See, from the perspective of environment also, there are 4 to 5 questions which you can predict in advance, and you can see that these questions come up in the exam. Let me give you an example. For the perspective of national parks, see what students basically try that they prepare what is the national park and where it is located. But this type of silly questions are not asked in today's exam. What you need to remember: what is the national park? What is it exactly? Its important flora and fauna. Okay, where it is located, for what purpose that national park is more prominent. For example, question came, where is Pakhoi Tiger Reserve located? Now, most of the students have read in Sankar IAS or other books that where is Pakke Tiger Reserve. They do not know that actually it is Pakke which is called as Pakwi. So you are directly losing 2 marks. But in case once in a lifetime, if you have searched Pakke Tiger Reserve in Wikipedia, the first line it is Pakke Tiger Reserve bracket Pakwi Tiger Reserve. So you are directly getting 2 marks. So what I am saying that preparing environment, the way have changed. For the perspective of national parks, I am showing you a slide where you can see how I had make a notes of national park. You can make in a similar manner. Okay. Is the screen being seen to everyone? Whether the screen is being seen to everyone? Okay, I have not. Okay. See, what I have prepared. You can see that suppose a Mount Harriet National Park. It is located in Andaman and Nicobar. These two data only which you will get in Sankar IAS, but you have to prepare one step advance. That what is its climate? Okay, what is its important location? Important highlights like Mount Harriet is located in this island. Further, Kala Patthar is located in this. And what are the specific animals which are located? For example, Andaman wildlife, saltwater crocodile, turtle, robber cats. So UPSC will what UPSC will ask that where is Mount Harriet located rather than where is Mount Harriet National Park. Or I will give you another example. For example, Mauling National Park. It is a part of Dibang Dihang Biosphere Reserve. Now, what UPSC will not ask that where is Mauling National Park located. Rather, it can ask that Mauling National Park is a part of which biosphere reserve. You can get these reference only from Wikipedia. You just prepare a comprehensive sheet for national park. There are around only 104 national parks in India or 105. It will take a day or two only. You can prepare comprehensively. The same exercise you need to do for biosphere reserves also, UNESCO sites also, Ramsar wetlands also, and other important geographic sites. Okay. And one more important thing which you need to prepare must for environment is prepare environmental organizations very brief in very depth. Always UPSC asks that where uh, supposedly UNCOP or UNFCCC. Under UNFCCC, there are various programs being held. What UPSC directly asks that this program is held under which UN organizations. So you can go through various websites of UN, World Bank, WEF, UNDP, and just prepare a holistic program. I am showing you on the slide. Just wait. Just wait a minute. See, if you can see the data, okay, now the whether the PDF is visible to all. Okay, see what I have specifically prepared like Asiatic Lion Conservation Program. It has been launched by MOFCC. Okay, like energy efficient scaling up program. It is prepared by ESL. What UPSC will direct us that Indian greenhouse gas program is being conducted by which organizations, and the options will be many like UNDP or TERI or CII or WRI. You just need to remember what is Indian greenhouse program and who conducts it. Okay, or you can see many other like uh, programs under FAO like Alliance Against Hunger and Malnutrition. You just need to remember AHM in under FIO. UPSC will just ask Alliance under Hunger and Malnutrition is under which program, whether it is under FAO, whether it is under WHO or UNDP or anything else. Okay, just prepare this comprehensive data from the internet and you will get 2 marks for sure. One important thing more about environment you can prepare is fund, that which fund is located under which organization like Global Environment Facility. It is located under UN. Okay, so there are multiple number of funds. There are many funds starting with the word global. It directly comes under European Commission. Every year, one question is about the fund, that which fund comes under which organization. Go specifically through internet and prepare these funds. You will get 4 to 5 direct questions from this. One from National Park, Tiger Reserve, Biosphere Reserve for all these wetlands. One from organizations which I have just shown you. One directly from the funds part. Okay. The fourth important part, which I will suggest, uh, go for remembering important species and what is their status. But do not prepare all lots of species. Prepare those species which have come in this year news only. Okay, so go through newspaper, just write up the species name and see what is its actual species status under UN Conservation Program, and read something about the UN species. That particular species, you will get very good marks in environment, and the chance of failing prelims will be very low. Okay. So I have covered environments. If anyone have anything doubt regarding environment, you can ask me. See, for environment, I am telling the source is Sankar IAS and Wikipedia, nothing else. Sankar IAS and Wikipedia. Yes, Sankar IAS will be enough to prepare environment, but just do not mug up what I have specifically told in respect of national parks, or in respect of wetlands, or in respect of organizations and their funds, or in respect of organization and mission. Do prepare holistically from Wikipedia. It will not be covered in Sankara. Okay, anyone has some else, any other doubt from some environment, or move forward? Okay, okay. It seems nobody has no doubt. Okay, see, the next important topic for prelims is economics. Okay, see, what students try to mug up, that still what is base rate, what is CRR, what is SLR. These are very basic questions which will not be asked in UPSC exam prelims. Economics, for economics, UPSC generally asks very much current affairs. So whatever is in business or economic space of newspaper, just go through it, just learn the concepts, do not mug up the data. The very interesting thing about economics is that you need not to learn the facts, just see what is the concept. For example, in last year the question came, what is merchant discount rate? Merchant discount rate is what, that whenever you go to a store and purchase a book, the you pay through a ATM card. Okay, you do not incur any extra charge, but the online bookkeeper has to pay around 1 to 2% to the Mastercard or Visa or Maestro card or Rupee as a convenient charge. It is called merchant discount rate. This simple concept was asked in UPSC prelims exam. It is a concept, not a fact. So for economics, have any book for learning the basic facts. You can either go through Mrunal or Sriram IAS or any book provided by FT Plus or any other institute. Just learn the basics and go through current affairs. Economics will suffice. Okay. Any other doubt regarding economics, or we can move forward? Okay. It seems nobody has no doubt regarding economics, so we are moving forward. No need to do NCRT for economics. NCRT is very basic. You will get holistically that concepts also in some institute books, so you can skip NCRT for economics. Or if you want to do, just do 12th class microeconomics last 4 chapters. That will suffice. No, no, you do not need to go through Ramesh Singh. It is a very, very, very bulky book. If you will prepare through Ramesh Singh, your whole 1 year will be going preparing Ramesh Singh only. So don't go through it. I personally do not recommend it. Say, I am telling, the only started book for economics is good book, because you need to learn only basics. What UPSC asks is strategic concepts, which will go through everyday learning only. Okay, So I'm moving forward and I'm going. No, yes. Sanjeev Verma is a very good book. One student has asked, you can go also through it. It is a very good book. Yes, you can go through current affairs, but you need to learn the basics of economics. Otherwise, you will not understand what is CRR, what is SLR, what is base rate, and what is the difference between all these topics. Okay, I'm moving forward. Okay, one student has asked interesting doubt regarding economic survey and budget or any official document, which generally there is a hype regarding it that whether to cover it or not. See, budget you can cover it because it is a very small document. Go through the summary of budget in just 4 to 5 pages of PIB, but no need to go through economic survey. Economic survey is a very holistic book, very conceptual book, very fact-based book. Till date, I have not seen any relevant direct questions coming from economic survey. So no need to go through economic survey. Once you are fed up with prelims, if you are preparing for mains, just go through the economic survey. You will learn the concept, but that too will not be useful for the mains part also. It is just for the knowledge. Okay. Okay. Uh, Now I'm moving forward to the geography part. See, in Indian geography, there are two main. See, in geography, there are two main subjects. One is Indian geography, one is physical geography. The most important concept for book for Indian geography is go through NCRTs of class 6 to 12. You will cover holistically. Okay, class 6 to 12 NCRT will cover Indian geography holistically. Otherwise, if you do not want to go through NCRT, there is a small book called Perrier. It is same size of as of Spectrum. Okay, you can go through it. You will remember all the concepts. Either Perrier or NCRT, both will suffice for Indian geography. Okay, and for physical geography, there is an NCRT called Introduction to Physical Geography. Go through it. You will learn all the concepts like volcano, tsunami, or any other concepts. You will prepare holistically physical geography. And you can also refer GC Leong, but do not follow GC Leong as a whole. Just read last 8 chapters of GC Leong or part B of GC Leong, where information has been given about various climates, like what is China type of climate, what is Mediterranean type of climate, okay, or what is Siberian type of climate, what is tundra. So last 8 chapters are only relevant of GC Leong. So for Indian geography, either NCRT or Perrier, and for physical geography, you can go through Introduction to Physical Geography NCRT plus GC Leong last 8 chapters. Okay, no need to read Savinder Singh. It is for optional students, not for us. Okay. Now, see map-based questions. Every year, 2 to 3 questions directly comes from maps. So for Indian geography, you can follow NCRT. You will get to know holistically the map. You can solve map-based question. And for international, you can follow many videos on YouTube which specifically have made videos for solving international map-based question. You can go through it. Do not worry much about it. You just read maps 15 minutes daily, and you will able to solve the question. No need to read Majid Hussain. One student has asked. Okay. Okay. Any other question? How to tackle geography? Okay. Okay. It seems everybody is clear. Everything is clear. Okay. See, what we have discussed till now is history, polity, environment, geography, art and culture, economics. Okay. See, these are the broad topics from which UPSC generally asks questions. And one more subject is science and tech. See, science and tech, the UPSC, what UPSC in science and tech asks is not, you cannot predict questions. They are very vague. So I personally recommend for the science and tech part, just go through current affairs, that will suffice. No need to prepare something extra. Okay. And there is no specific book list for geography map based question. Just go through map daily. You will learn. Okay. And now we will come to the current affairs part. See, this is the most important part which most students try to learn also, and they miss the prelims exam or they fail the prelims exam because of this part only. See, for the current affairs part, try to understand that UPSC is currently not asking very much fact-based question that you learn the data and just vomit in the exam. You need to be very strategically clear, okay, and you need to be very clear with the concepts. Then only you can solve the question. What I personally recommend for the current affairs part is go through any single institute's current affairs material for 1 year. Either it may be Apti Plus or any other institute. Monthly magazine. Do just read monthly magazines of 1 year. Prepare notes from it. It will suffice, because do try to understand that no question will comes from no institute's material. It is just your mental satisfaction. Ultimately it will be your gut, your willpower, or your logical guess which will help you to solve the question paper in exam. And one important thing most students try to do, like they try to make notes from the newspaper itself. Please try to understand, if you will start making notes from newspaper for whole year, you will not gonna end up read those notes at the end. So newspaper is just for knowing what all is going through the Indian economy or polity, or what is the current Indian scenario. You need to see newspaper just to work through it. Do not make page by page notes of newspaper. If you will make, you will not gonna end up remembering it. So just follow newspaper as you follow daily, plus go through any institute current affairs magazine, and no need to go through any 365 prelims 365 or something else of any institute. Okay. Okay. Okay, see, now the most important part for prelims is solving test papers. See, what I have done is I have solved around in my first attempt around 100 test papers. 100 test papers does amount to 10,000 questions. And I try to solve with as much as accuracy as I can. Once if you solve 10,000 questions, there are no chance that you will fail the exam. Try to develop a very logical reasoning, very accurate reasoning at what are the chances that you hit a particular question and you do not falter with the data. See, like I will give you an example. Once a question came that in specifically I am telling in relation to Odisha, that in UPSC one question came that which is the only beach where the sea recedes in the morning and then come back at the evening. What the student tried to do, one fake news or something came that this news is from a Kit Kat wrapper. So student basically starting collecting Kit Kat wrapper from the whole India and starting mugging up the data. Please do not do this kind of foolish things. This is general fact which you can get anywhere. See, I am showing you a Insta page. Today itself I got this uh, specific news. It okay, it is visible to all. See, what is it written? The Chandipur sea beach. The photograph was clicked where you can see infinite land and other movement. There is nothing but water. Okay. See, what I mean to see is do not try to mug up these foolish things. You can get whole lot of things either from Kit Kat wrapper or Kurkure wrapper. Do not do these things. Otherwise, definitely you're gonna fail the exam. Okay, these are basic facts. These are questions meant to be skipped, because you need not to attend 100 questions in exam. You can attend 90 questions also, and you can easily have 120 to 125 marks. Okay, so try to solve as many test papers as you can. And that many students have fear that we have not completed the syllabus, how can we attend the test papers? See, there is a basic inertia in every student, that how to test all the test papers. Do overcome that inertia and try to answer the test papers. When you starting solving the test papers, you will definitely break the inertia. And if you will not give such mock test paper, remember my word, your exam will become actual mock paper. So try giving as many test paper as you can. Okay, these are all for the prelims part. So if anyone wants to ask any doubt regarding prelims, please ask me, otherwise I will move to the mains. See, I have told in the very start only that CSAT is not very that useful. It is just a qualifying paper, basic class 9, 10th English and maths. So do not worry about it. Uh, It can be prepared in 2 or 3 days. Just solve past year papers. It will suffice. Yes, current affairs of 1 year will be more than sufficient. More than sufficient. Do not try to cover more than 1 year current affairs. See, those students who have missed the video or static part of prelims, they're asking, they can see the video in YouTube later. They will get a clear idea. See, from the if if the exam is in May, start practicing from February itself. At least 3 months before. At least 3 months. Sir, see, one student has asked strategy to prepare for current affairs. What I personally do, that for every month's current affairs exam, try to prepare a two-page note of each month. It means it actually amounts 24 pages at the year end. Just try to mark the 24 pages. If question will come from that, it is okay. Otherwise, it is your logical guess which will ultimately help you to clear the exam. Okay. Okay, I am Okay, see, for note making, what you can do for prelims part, apart from current affairs part, no need to make any notes because the whole Lakshmikant is in notes in itself, or whole spectrum is note in itself, or whole environment is note in itself. But just try to make notes of current affairs, and for the mains part, I will try to cover now. See, subject-wise weightage, I am saying most important weightage for the prelims part is environment. After environment, it is art and culture. After art and culture, polity, then history, then economics, then it is remaining science and tech. And static questions will comprise around 50 to 60. Rest 40 will be current affairs. Okay, now I'm moving. Science and tech static part is not that important, so you can skip. Okay, now the time is very short. We'll quickly start, move to the mains, and see, only 20 minutes are remaining because 1 hour is being allocated to me. So for the mains part, I will try to only give you the basic sources which I have personally covered. You can go through the sources, and if in future, if you'll have another class, we will have detailed discussion that how to approach for answer writing in mains exam. Okay. So for in mains, see, there are 4 papers, GS 1, 2, 3, 4. Every paper comprises of 250 marks. See, it is the ultimately the mains which will bring you salvation. Try to understand that prelims is just a qualifying paper. Ultimately, mains will let you to make have rank in ultimate or make you into the final list. So mains is the most important part. Apart in mains, there is an optional subject also. Try to score very high in optional because unless you score 300 in optional, there is no chance that you are going to make into IAS. You will end up in very low rank. Okay. So I'm quickly covering sources for mains. For Indian society, see, I'm trying to tell now GS1. In GS1, first subject in Indian society, it will comprise around 9 to 10 questions out of 20. You can cover uh, this society part. I'm writing the book name in the screen. You can see. See, this is the book for society. Okay, M. Senthil Kumar. You can prepare holistically from this book. No need to no need to go through any extra book for Indian society. Okay. Yeah, I am exactly not confirmed whether this is a Pearson or not. Go through net once. The next important subject is geography. For geography, whatever you have read in the prelims, it will only suffice. No need to read anything extra. There is only one important chapter extra in geography in prelims, sorry, in mains, which is not covered in prelims, are the industrial factors. For example, what are the factors uh, which you will decide to so that a factory is located in a particular place like refinery or something or any else factory. So for that purpose you can follow any coaching institute note. See, don't try to write anything in my blank sheet. I'm requesting. Okay. The next, okay, Smarky Jena has raised and whatever you want to ask, you can ask in the chat part. Okay. Uh, Apart from Indian society, these two are the most important topics. Apart from is there is modern history. For the modern history, you can prepare from spectrum itself. Okay. And the most important question I think many students were asking from the very beginning, world history. World is world history, you can follow any coaching material, any coaching institute world history material. Please try to understand world history does not contain any weightage in the mains exam. From the last 3 to 4 mains, there have been zero questions from world history or one questions or two questions, and these questions are so much difficult that it is being itself not solved by history optional students. Like they asked about Indo-Malayan Peninsula, it was a very tough question. Or what was the role in Africa of the various revolutionaries or writers? It is very tough, so you can skip world history also. It will not be very much difficult for that. Okay. I am completed with GS1. If anyone has doubt regarding any sources for GS1, you can ask, otherwise we will move to GS2. No need to read Arjun Dev for world history. Oh, okay, I am coming to GS2. See, the first part is polity. Polity, Lakshmikant will suffice. From Lakshmikant also, no need to read all chapters for mains part. I am telling you the name of chapters, just go through it. Okay. Fundamental rights, duties, basic structure, center-state relations, parliament, judiciary, and panchayati. Apart from it, do read NCRWC recommendations. This is most important for mains part. NCRWC recommendations. Okay. And center state relations. Remember, center state relations is a very important for GS2 Lakshmikant. You have to read for the mains part. Okay. Next topic is governance. Governance, the best source for governance is internet. Prepare topic wise notes. See, I personally do not recommend to read ARC or NCR ARC the whole. If you will read ARC summary also, it will be around 100 pages. And governance, they ask generally very only 4 questions, either citizen charter, RTI, or any other thing. Just go through internet, prepare 1 page holistic notes of governance from every topic. May it be SHG, may it be NGO, may it be pressure group, or any other topic. You will get a clear idea that from governance very static questions are being asked. You will directly end up writing the answers what you have prepared at the home only. Okay. So for governance, prepare from internet, prepare topic wise notes and only 1 page notes. Okay. The next topic is social justice. For social justice, any coaching material you can pick. Any coaching material. Okay, is FT Plus providing? Then you can follow FT Plus coaching material also. No, social justice is very static part, so no need to worry. Okay, the last part of GS2 governance is international relations. In international relations, only read current affairs. Now the important question is that what to read in GS2 for the current affairs part. Say for the current affairs part, you have read the monthly magazines for the prelims part, it will suffice. Read the magazines one extra time, as you have to appear mains and make notes from it. GS2 will suffice. Okay. If anybody wants to ask anything in relation to source of GS2, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll move to GS3. I think nobody has any doubt regarding GS2. So we can move to GS3. Okay, regarding the sources. Okay, okay, fine, fine, fine. You can read any magazine, any magazine, no issue. FT Plus also provide a magazine of monthly magazine. You can go through FT Plus magazine also. Okay, any magazine you can go for current affair. Okay, FT Plus is a good one. You can go through it. Okay. Now I'm moving to GS3. See, the GS3 most important part is economics. Around 10 questions are being directly asked. One single source, current affairs magazine. No need to go anything beyond it. See, believe me, what I am saying is from my experience. I have last year scored 440 marks in GS. It is one of the highest. Okay, so what I am saying is very easy sources, and from these sources, do prepare notes and revise multiple times. From these notes, only you can solve the questions very easily. In economics part, one important static topic is food processing industry. This is the only static topic in Indian economy. Read from any coaching institute material. Okay. Now we will move from economics. Now we'll move to Indian security. For Indian security, there is a book of McGraw-Hill. Okay, the McGraw-Hill covers holistically Indian security. You will get all the questions through it. Apart from read current affairs also, the monthly magazines will suffice. Okay. The next is environment. Sankar IS. Okay. The next is, or you can read any material by FT Plus also. Okay. The next important topic is disaster management. Yojana magazine. I do not remember exactly it is which Yojana. It is either 2017 or 18. There is a direct Yojana magazine for disaster management. You will cover holistically. In one single magazine, around 4 to 5 page notes are there. Disaster management will be covered holistically. No need to go beyond it. The next is science and tech. Okay. Only current affairs. Okay. So these are all the topics which you need to prepare for GS3. I am removing the data. In case anyone having any doubt, you can ask in GS3, or we can directly move to ethics part. I think nobody has no doubt regarding GS3, regarding the sources which we need to follow. So whether we can move to GS4. See, I have not watched Kunal videos, so I cannot say. Apti Plus is also making daily current affairs videos. You can also watch it. It is a 10-minute short video. You can watch and you can move forward. You can get a holistic understanding. Okay. Now we'll moving to GS4 part. See, ethics is a very important uh, GS which students generally neglect. It is a very important paper where you can score very high. I last year scored 110. It was my first mains. Okay, so you can do wonders in ethics. Just follow these simple steps. Do read the syllabus holistically. For every word of ethics, do prepare for every important word mentioned in ethics paper, in ethics syllabus. Prepare definition, personal example, public example. Okay, just this and one diagram. just do this for this will suffice. I am giving an example. Let's take about honesty and integrity. See, if questions in like if question directly come that what is the difference between honesty and integrity in ethics paper, you need to remember important all important words. Honesty is what telling facts. Integrity is what you think, what you say is exactly same. Okay, there is no cognitive dissonance. If you do not have any cognitive dissonance, it is integrity, not. And if you do not have, you may be honest but not integral. I am giving you a public example. For example, if you can take the Yudh of Mahabharat. In Mahabharat, what Yudhishthir told that Ashwatthama died, it was a fact. He was honest, but it was not integral. So this is a public example. Just follow these simple steps. And for the governance part in ethics, it is same as GS2. Same as GS2, no need to prepare anything extra. Okay. The next important part is case studies. For case studies, follow any institute's material and try to solve as many as question. Okay, you will get a holistic understanding of case studies through solving questions only. There is no other shortcut to solve case studies. Okay, this we have covered all the sources for GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. Say only 5 minutes are remaining. The time does not allow me to tell about the main sensor writing or how to approach the various difficult questions or what are the how to approach various vague questions what that has been asked in the exam. If in future we'll have another session, I will tell you. Okay, Tarun, no need to worry about interview. Okay, no need to worry about interview. Just clear prelims and mains. Once you will clear, you will automatically know everything about interview. See, for commerce and accountancy, I will write a separate blog. You can follow there. No need to worry. See, I do not need know the success rate of optional subject. Sorry, I am concerned only about commerce and accountancy. That is my optional. What I need to tell in brief in few statements, please clarify. Okay, see, few minutes are remaining. If any students wants to ask any doubt, any kind of doubt regarding prelims or mains, they can ask. See, society and social justice are altogether different. Indian society basically means the society in which you are living. Okay, it is basically consist of a group of people who share similar ideas. Indian society, if you will see GS1, there are topics like secularism, communalism, regionalism, diversity. It is a part of GS1. Social justice ensures like giving everyone education, literacy, health, human resource development. It is altogether different. Okay. See, essay it will take long time, so I cannot discuss here. See, for language papers, I have personally went through. See, English is compulsory, so you need to follow English. There is no other option. And for Hindi, I have personally taken Hindi, and I am very good at it, so I have not prepared anything. In fact, I have seen first time the Hindi paper in the exam itself. I was not knowing what was its format also. See, I have not read lexicon. I do not know more about it. See, for case study, we need to have separate sessions. I cannot discuss in few minutes writing the entire case study. Solving one single case study requires at least 15 to 20 minutes. If anyone having other doubts, you can ask. Uh, See, it is not a discussion about Indian Foreign Service or zonal allocation or service allocation. Okay, so Tarun, do not worry about it much. First, clear the prelims and mains part. See, I am in a blog. It will take time. In this by this month end only, I will share you my blog. You will see detailed preparation how to prepare for commerce. So for social justice, go through net or any coaching institute material. No need to prepare anything extra. Like for poverty, prepare one page note. For hunger, prepare one page notes. Okay. See, for word limit answers, there is no the UPSC gives word limit, but try to write like if the word limit is 150, try to write 100 or 120. It will suffice. It depends on your handwriting. Okay. Any students can ask any form of doubt regarding prelims or mains. Please do not ask about interview. It is a very long journey. Now just worry about how to crack prelims or mains. Okay. Okay. Tips for time management. See, the for prelims for managing time, the only way is to just practice and practice test papers. Just practice test papers and see what time. Try to finish the first reading of prelims paper in just around 70 to 80 minutes. Then only you can complete the paper without marking various wrong answers. How to prepare for CSET? I have told again and again. No need to prepare for CSET. These are basic 9th and 10th class English and maths. Okay. When to start GS4? You need to complete GS4 before prelims itself. Okay. Because after prelims you will get only 2.5 to 3 months this time, this year, and that too will go in optional. So if you have not prepared for GS4, prepare holistically now itself. Otherwise GS4 is such a subject where students generally score very low, 60 to 70. You will not get into the list. Abhishek, I cannot understand your question. How stay for study, sir? Sorry, please write in holistic manner so that I can understand your question. Mm, I think nobody has no doubt now. All are very clear. All will clear in the first attempt itself. I hope so. And all the very best to everyone in these difficult times of Corona. Be very safe. Okay. And Apti Plus Academy is also always there. My blessings and sir's blessings are always there. No need to worry. Okay. Hope you like the session. Okay, someone has written a very sarcastic comment that thank you, sir, for giving us tensions. No, no, I am not giving you tension. I have told in a very lucid manner. Okay, I have tried to give as many information as I can in just 1 hour for both the prelims and mains. Okay. Hello. Hmm. Okay. Okay, I'm leaving the session. Okay. Okay. Hope we'll meet again. Okay. Okay. Then I'm leaving the session. Be very safe and a warm welcome from all of you. Okay. Okay.